It was a chilly autumn night when the wind howled through the trees, casting eerie shadows against the pale moonlight. A small town, often tucked away in the silence of the night, felt an unsettling stillness, as if the air itself held its breath. Somewhere in the darkness, something waited, lurking for the right moment to pounce. Alright? Ready to get scared? Turn off the lights. Get cozy. And let the chill begin. In the heart of the town lived a woman named Sarah, a school teacher known for her kindness and gentle nature. One evening, after a long day of teaching, she returned home to her quiet house, looking forward to a night of reading and relaxation. As she settled into her favorite chair, the wind rattled the windows, making her jump slightly. Just another stormy night, she reassured herself. As the clock struck midnight, Sarah's phone rang, cutting through the silence. She glanced at the caller ID unknown number. She hesitated before answering, the instinct to ignore it gnawing at her. But curiosity got the better of her. She answered. "Hello?" she said, her voice shaking slightly. A raspy voice responded. "I see you." Her heart raced. She thought it was a sick joke. "Who is this?" she demanded. No reply came, just silence. Then the voice returned. "I see you, Sarah, in your living room." As terror gripped her, Sarah turned to her window. The curtain swayed slightly. She felt exposed, vulnerable. There was no one outside, just darkness. Still, the voice continued. "You should lock your doors, Sarah. You never know who might be watching." With shaking hands, she hung up. Panic began to set as she looked at the door and checked the windows. The phone rang again. The same unknown number flashing on the screen. She answered, her voice barely a whisper. "Stop calling me," the voice returned, calm and mocking. "You think locking up will protect you? I'm already in your house, Sarah." In a frenzied rush, Sarah bolted from the living room, heart pounding in her ears. She sprinted upstairs, her mind racing. What if someone was inside? She quickly locked the bedroom door and grabbed her phone, dialing the police. As she explained the situation, she could hear soft footsteps from the hallway. "Ma'am, stay calm. We'll send someone right away," the officer assured her. Sarah peered through the slightly cracked bedroom door, holding her breath. She strained to hear. Nothing. Just the sound of her own heartbeat. Suddenly, the house erupted in a loud crash. Something had fallen downstairs. She felt a wave of dread wash over her as she imagined the worst. "Sarah?" called a familiar voice. It was her husband, Mark, who had been out late with friends. Relief enveloped her as she opened the door, only to find him standing there, confusion etched on his face. "What's wrong?" Before she could explain, the phone in Sarah's hand buzzed again. Another call from the unknown number. "Sarah," the voice echoed in her ears. "You really thought I'll let you go? Look behind you." A chill ran down her spine as she slowly turned around. There, in the shadow of a hallway, figure stood, cloaked in darkness. A twisted smile spreading across its face. Panic surged through her as she screamed, pushing past Mark to escape down the stairs. She could hear Mark shouting after her, but the only thing that filled her mind was the horror of the moment. She stumbled into the living room, realizing too late that the front door was still unlocked. The figure followed closely behind, an unsettling darkness surrounding it. Just then, the sound of sirens filled the air, growing louder and louder. With one desperate leap, Sarah dashed outside, frantically waving her arms. The police car screeched to a halt, and officers poured out, guns drawn. "Where is he?" one officer shouted, scanning the area. But as Sarah turned to point at the figure, it vanished into thin air, swallowed by the darkness. The officers searched the house, but there was no sign of an intruder. They found her phone on the ground, still connected to the last call. And when they investigated, they discovered the line had been disconnected. The haunting voice never resurfaced. Even though Sarah was safe, the memory of that night haunted her. Sometimes, late at night, she could still hear the whisper, "I see you," reminding her that not all the monsters are visible. And sometimes, the scariest thing is the unknown that lurks just out of sight. As the night grew darker and the wind continued to howl, the town remained unaware of the horrors that unfolded. Because somewhere in this stillness, a figure quietly waited, a reminder that fear can creep in from the shadows, and sometimes it never truly leaves. Thank you for joining me on this chilling journey to real-life horror. Remember, the scariest stories are often the ones that live next door. If you enjoyed this tale, please like, subscribe, and share your own scary experiences in the comments below. Until next time, keep your lights on and stay safe.